Just think about it for a second. We can literally talk to anyone on the other side of the planet in an instant. We can get pretty much any food we're craving delivered right to our door in, under an hour? We can watch entire cinematic universes from the comfort of our couch. It's kind of undeniable. We are living with more convenience than any other human beings in all of history. But here's the huge, glaring paradox at the center of it all. With all this stuff, all this comfort and connection, why do so many of us feel so deeply unsatisfied? We're more anxious, more stressed out, and more depressed than ever before. So what's the deal? Well, you've come to the right place. Welcome to the Chronicler's Desk. Today, we're going to break down why happiness feels so out of reach in a world that's supposedly built for it. Let's dive in.
And this really lays out the problem perfectly. As our material wealth and all our conveniences have skyrocketed, our actual satisfaction with life has, it's been taking a nosedive. And this isn't just a gut feeling either. Hard data shows that right around 2005, just as the digital age really took off, rates for anxiety and depression just went through the roof. So what in the world is going on here?
Well, the biggest theory trying to explain all this has a pretty cool name. It's called evolutionary mismatch. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it is profound. See, the world around us has changed at a dizzying, lightning-fast pace. But our brains, our basic human biology, it hasn't caught up. We are basically running ancient Stone Age software on brand new 21st century hardware, and it is causing some major glitches.
I mean, just look at how massive this gap is. For 99% of human history, our brains were being shaped by a totally different environment. We lived in small, tight-knit tribes. We were always on the move, always outdoors, and finding resources was a constant challenge. Our brains are literally optimized for that life. And our actual world today, it's the complete opposite. We live in giant societies, spend more than 90% of our lives inside, barely move, and are surrounded by a ridiculous abundance of, everything. This is that deep mismatch, and it's the root of so much of our modern anxiety.
So, how do we try to cope with this weird, deep-seated unease? Well, our modern world gives us a very modern solution. We buy stuff. Our whole consumer culture has basically taught us that shopping is the answer. It's become this default coping mechanism, right? This retail therapy is our attempt to chase a quick little hit of happiness in a world that just feels totally overwhelming sometimes.
And that kicks off what you could call the retail therapy loop. And let's be honest, this probably sounds pretty familiar. It starts with that feeling of stress or anxiety. Then we make an impulse buy. That gives us a little temporary rush of dopamine. That's the brain's reward chemical. But that high, it fades, and it fades fast. And what are you left with? Usually buyer's remorse, more clutter, maybe even some financial stress, which puts you right back where you started. It's a total dead end. Okay, so we've laid out the problem, and we've talked about one of the biggest false cures out there. If this explainer is helping you connect the dots and you want to support more content that digs beneath the surface for real answers, then please take just a second to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. You'll be joining a whole community of us dedicated to finding a deeper understanding. All right, now let's pivot and talk about a real solution. So if chasing these fleeting good feelings doesn't work, what's the alternative? Well, to find it, we have to go way back, like 2,400 years back, to ancient Greece and this incredible concept called eudaimonia. Now, this is the absolute key. Eudaimonia is not about a feeling. It's not that temporary buzz you get from a new pair of shoes. It's about a way of living, a life built on meaning, on virtue, on becoming the best version of yourself.
Let's break it down like this. On one side, you have what most of us call happiness today, the hedonic kind. Its whole goal is to feel as much pleasure as possible and avoid pain. It's all about chasing that next good feeling. But on the other side, you have eudaimonic living. Here, the goal is totally different. The goal is to build a genuinely good and meaningful life. And the amazing part, those good feelings, what we think of as happiness, they still show up. They just aren't the goal. They're the natural byproduct of living well.
And what's so cool is that this isn't just some dusty old philosophy. Modern science is actually backing this up, showing that this approach leads to real, lasting well-being. So, what does it actually look like? Well, it all starts from the inside, being mindful, knowing who you are, and living authentically by your values, not somebody else's. And that solid foundation helps you build deep, meaningful relationships. And from there, you can branch out, focusing on your own growth and contributing to your community.
And the evidence that we're all chasing the wrong things is, it's just stunning.
Check this out. A major 2-year study followed a bunch of people after college. It found that even when they got what our society screams is success, the money, the fame, the status, their actual well-being didn't go up at all. In fact, for some of them, it actually led to more anxiety. It's a huge sign that our culture is pointing us toward the completely wrong targets for a good life.
And this brings us right back to the guy who started this whole conversation, Aristotle. He used this brilliant metaphor. He basically asked, look, if you're an archer, wouldn't you have a much better shot at hitting what you need if you actually had a target to aim at? For him, and now for a whole lot of modern science, that target isn't some fleeting feeling. The real target is eudaimonia, a life well lived.
So that really just leaves us with one final question, a big one. In a world that is pulling you in a million different directions, telling you what you should buy and who you should be, what is the true target that you are aiming for?